Hello everyone, Earl Henderson, Primordial Defense. Thank you for watching. I have another Monday quarterback video for you. I'm going to play the entirety of this video and then I'll go back and talk about things that are going on and things that I think that were done right and or done wrong. Without further ado, here we go.
Hello, I'm Captain Gaiman, Commander of the Sheriff's Office Professional Standards Division. We're here today to provide our community information regarding a critical incident which occurred in Sacramento County within the city of Rancho Cordova and involved Sheriff's Office personnel. Today you will learn about different procedures the Sheriff's Office utilizes in order to investigate cases involving use of force, obtain and preserve relevant evidence, and evaluate each individual incident. Please keep in mind the Sheriff's Office takes the use of force by any employee very seriously. We conduct thorough investigations to ensure that the actions taken by all personnel are within the procedural standards of the Sacramento County Sheriff's Office and in compliance with state law. We are still in the early stages of this investigation, and our understanding of the facts and circumstances may change as we review more evidence and interview additional witnesses. The information contained within this video is based on what we know right now. Please note, we do not draw any conclusions based solely upon this video as to whether or not our employee acted within policy or state law. Our conclusions, rather, are based on the totality of the evidence that we have gathered at the time the investigation has been completed. We hope the content of this video serves as an educational tool for our community to promote the development of understanding and transparency within the communities we serve.
Hello everyone, I'm Sergeant Tess Deterding, Public Information Officer for the Sacramento County Sheriff's Office. Today we're going to show you an overview of an incident which occurred in the city of Rancho Cordova on Saturday, September 5th, 2020. You will hear some of the original calls from citizens to the Sheriff's Office Communications Center, coupled with radio traffic and private surveillance video. We will start by providing you with some background information regarding exactly what led up to this incident. On September 5th, 2020, at approximately 7:10 p.m., the Sheriff's Communications Center received a call from the 10,400 block of Investment Circle located in the city of Rancho Cordova. The caller stated an adult male at that location vandalized a fence and stole a water hose. The caller provided a description of the male and indicated the male appeared to have what he described as a toy gun in his waistband.
Rancho Cordova Police.
Hi, my name is. I'm calling from Arbor's apartment.
What is the address there?
10468 Investment Circle.
Okay, hold on a second. Is there an apartment number?
No, exactly. I'm the maintenance.
Okay.
We had the
What's going on?
empty space next to the apartment complex. And the guy, he broke in the fence, stealing the water hose, jumping right here, and he walking over there with the water hose.
Okay, is he still there in the area?
Yeah.
Okay, what race is he?
Latino.
About how old is he?
He's like maybe 30s.
I'm just trying to see if I'm facing like the entrance of the complex. Is it the empty area behind it, or is it to the
next to
the left?
Next to the complex, on the left.
Okay. Do you see any weapons?
Look like he got weapon. He look like, I don't know, but look like toy weapon, you know?
What kind of weapon?
Yeah, like toy or like black weapon.
Okay, what kind of weapon? A gun, a knife, bat?
I don't see it. I don't know about the weapons too much. Only I know he's like a gun.
It looked like a gun?
Huh? Nah, it looked like a gun only, but I know it's like toy.
Okay, hold on. And where did he have it on him?
Under the belt.
Deputies arrived and saw the suspect walking towards them. They immediately began giving him commands. The suspect did not follow the deputy's commands and instead laid down on the ground without being told. While deputies continued commands, the suspect all of a sudden stood up and began running away from the deputies. As he fled, the suspect pointed an object at the deputies. At the time, based on the shape of the object and the way in which the suspect was holding it, deputies perceived the object to be a firearm. Deputies lost sight of the suspect as he made his way through a business parking lot. You will see 4 camera angles capturing the incident. Cameras number 1 and number 2 were positioned on a stand-alone restaurant on Folsom Boulevard. Cameras number 3 and 4 were positioned on another restaurant at the end of a strip mall. As the suspect walked away from deputies, he continued in a southbound direction. You will see him on camera number 1 carrying the dark object in his hand in a position consistent with a firearm. When the suspect reached the corner of the business, he turned and pointed the object at deputies as they pursued him through the parking lot. The suspect then turned westbound and continued walking away from deputies, ignoring their commands. Camera number 2 captured the suspect walking by with the object in his hand. Restaurant employees can be heard yelling from inside the restaurant that there's a man with a gun. Deputies cut behind the restaurant in an effort to maintain distance and positions of cover while they kept visual of the suspect. When a deputy reacquired sight of the suspect again pointed the object at him. The deputy fired his weapon at the suspect, but did not hit him. Camera number 3 showed the rounds fired without the deputy or suspect in camera view. After the initial shots were fired and deputies turned the corner of the restaurant, 2 adults and a small child became visible to deputies as they tried to retreat to safety. The suspect continued waving the object as he passed the citizens. Fearing the suspect could shoot the citizens, deputies had an increased sense of urgency to stop the suspect before he injured or killed someone. The deputy followed the suspect while he maintained positions of cover behind pillars. Additional deputies arrived and continued to give verbal directives to the suspect. The suspect raised his arm and pointed the object directly at deputies. Camera number 4 and in-car camera footage captured deputies firing at the suspect from positions of cover. 4 deputies fired their duty weapons at the suspect simultaneously, injuring him. The suspect continued to move after he was shot. Deputies observed the suspect from positions of cover to ensure the suspect did not retrieve the object, which they reasonably believed to be a firearm. Deputies formed an arrest team and tactically approached the suspect. He was detained and immediately provided with medical aid. Before moving forward, we will offer a word of caution. When a police officer uses force to arrest, gain control of a suspect, or defend against an attack, it can be difficult to watch. Some of the video you are about to see contains strong language in addition to graphic content, which may be disturbing to sensitive viewers. Viewer discretion is advised.
Suspect down, still moving. David. East, we're facing westbound. Units coming from the east. We're facing circle west side of investment circle. He's still moving.
Hey, stay down, brother. Stay down, dude. Don't move. Hey, I'm moving over, moving over.
I'm gonna move my car up.
He's not going to Fort Command, trying to get some, but he's not listening.
Stop it! Stop it!
Get out! Get out!
10 let's start blocking off traffic coming in here. And let me know where fire stage is. Units coming in, stay out of the west side here. Units at the west. Stop. We're facing your direction. Those units that are at Hernandez, listen to walk off will come traffic.
Copy. Some units have blocked Folsom and Coloma.
If I could get a unit with me, or if I'm not like speak with somebody with a shield, that way we can approach them. That's a great call.
Copy. Is there a unit with a shield?
I'm not because the shield. I've also got someone from a glass off.
Copy. I need a unit to take over 7-5 Sam at Folsom and Coloma.
Sam, I'm in the area. Is that something I can take? This is CSO 55.
55 David, target traffic. We're making our approach from now. We're going to detain subject.
Copy.
55 David, big guy. 7-2 Charles, go ahead and send in fire. Go 3.
Upon inspection of the object, the suspect pointed at deputies numerous times, it was determined to be an ignition timing gun that had been altered to look identical to a firearm. The suspect, 22-year-old Miguel Hernandez, was treated for his injuries and subsequently released from the hospital. He was booked into the Sacramento County Main Jail on charges related to pointing a firearm at a peace officer. He has since been released from custody. We hope this video provided you some insight into the complexities of policing and some of the situations sheriff's deputies encounter while keeping our community safe. For more information about the Sacramento County Sheriff's Office, please visit our website at www.sacsheriff.com. On behalf of the men and women of the Sacramento County Sheriff's Office, thank you for watching.
All right, let's get into it. No idea why this happened, or at least why the guy was walking around with his thing and walking through public the way he was, and then pointing at the officers, but then continuing to just leisurely walk away. At first thought, I thought, well, maybe this is a suicide by police thing. But he just keeps walking, walks away from the police, but points the gun at them. So, I don't know. That sort of partly makes me think maybe this wasn't suicide by police. Maybe this guy was under the influence of some type of intoxicant, and he just thought that waving the gun-shaped thing at him would make him go away. I have no idea. It's anyone's guess on what some of these people do. The object he had looked a lot like a pistol, looked a lot like a gun. Lots of people around thought it was a gun. The people in the restaurant, they thought that he had a gun. They were telling the people in the restaurant were telling each other to get back. He's got a gun. Obviously, the police thought that he had a gun. Everyone thought he had a gun. And if it looks like a gun, shaped like a gun, then you have to assume that it is a gun. Now, the police do shoot at him. So we see him walking right here. And then we see what looks like glass or something falling out here in the sidewalk. Hit replay. Oops. One more time. Watch right in here. So we hear the gunfire. We see what looks like glass breaking out in this area. And it doesn't seem like the suspect has been shot. So those are some missed rounds. Where exactly did those missed rounds go once they broke that glass? I have no idea. The first two officers have pistols. Not entirely sure what the other responding officers come up with. So the first initial responding officers have pistols. These two officers are knowingly responding to a call where a person is reported to have a gun. There's potential for gunplay, but yet they chose to continue on beyond their patrol car with just pistols. Now, did their car have a rifle in it? I don't know. I would suspect that it probably did, but I don't know that for sure. If it did have a rifle, then one of them was in the wrong for not grabbing the rifle. Anytime that you are going to something where there is a good likelihood of a gunfight being involved, you need to bring a rifle. Rifles will outperform pistols every day of the week. No questions asked. It's not clear if any of the other officers have rifles out when this gunfight happens. I'll fast forward it some and we'll watch the officers make the approach. Now, before we get into that, we see a random person start to go this way. Who knows what this idiot was thinking? But he just comes bebopping along like he's going to go up there, and they have to stop him and pull him back.
Units coming in. Stay out of the west side here.
Pistol. Let's see here. Okay, we see. Excuse me. We see one person with a long rifle over here. Everyone else appears to have pistols. Let's back it up. See them come back in the frame.
This is CSO 55.
55 David Carter, traffic. We're making our approach now. We're going to detain subject.
Copy.
So yeah, out of all these people, only one person had the mindset to get a long gun out. And you can't even tell what kind of long gun he's got. It looks like it might be a rifle. That might be a magazine sticking out the bottom. Not entirely sure.
55 David Carter, traffic. We're making our approach now.
Can't tell very well. It's a long gun of some sort.
55 David. Big gun.
But that's pretty common with police responses to calls involving guns, believe it or not. They all, the overwhelming majority tend to just get out with a pistol only instead of getting that rifle out, which in my opinion kind of shatters people's arguments that police are trigger happy. I mean, if the police were truly trigger happy and just, wanted to, shoot guns and cause as much carnage as possible, they would for sure definitely be getting rifles out. So, in my opinion, the lack of them getting rifles out is just something that just kind of shatters that bullshit allegation that the police are trigger happy. I mean, if they were truly trigger happy, they'd be getting rifles out, because rifles are a lot more deadlier than pistols. But it's common to see this, and I wish that it wasn't. There needs to be a paradigm shift in how law enforcement respond to calls involving guns. There needs to be more training and more emphasis put on getting a rifle out into play, because a rifle outperforms a pistol every day of the week. The only reason why we carry pistols on us is because it's convenient and comfortable. You can go 8, 10, 12 hours a day wearing a pistol on your side and not think much of it. You try to wear a rifle on you for 8, 10, 12 hours out of the day and perform normal tasks, that's going to get annoying real quick. Pistol ammunition kind of sucks. There are a lot of people who survive being shot from handgun ammunition. A lot of people. There are not too many people who survive from being shot with rifle ammunition. There are some who survive, but there's not that many compared to how many survive from pistol ammunition. Always bring a rifle to a gunfight. They waited because they wanted a shield. I don't know how long they waited. I'm not going to sit here and count the seconds on how long they waited. But they waited a decent amount of time trying to get a shield there. Now, they see the gun out there in the open, but that doesn't mean that he couldn't have another gun on him. So I don't think it's wrong at all to stand there and wait to see if you can get a shield to arrive on the scene. While you're waiting, this guy's bleeding out. Oh well, he brought this shit upon himself. It's his fault that he's laying in the middle of the parking lot bleeding out. The officers need to go home at the end of shift. They've got families to go to. They're good people. They don't overall cause a whole lot of problems in society. So if they want to wait for a shield to get there so that they can be safe, then so be it. And if he bleeds out in the process, oh well. They opted to stop waiting for the shield and just go on up. Perhaps, they or someone felt, hey, waiting for this shield is going to take too long. We need to get up there. Maybe that mindset came about with someone, and that initiated them coming up on him without the protection of a shield. Don't know for sure. They get them, they secure them.
7-2 Charles, go ahead and send in fire, code 3.
Upon inspection of
And then that's where it ends, and we don't get to see any medical care being rendered to this guy. Not saying they didn't render any medical care, we just don't get to see it on camera. So then that brings up the topic of medical gear. As I've always said, you need to have medical gear on you. You should have your first line medical gear on you to deal with injuries that you, your teammates, or your family may incur. And that's who that should be reserved for. The only time that you should ever use your first line medical gear is when you feel very confident that there is no more fighting to occur. Like you believe that this is the end of the scenario and there's no other chances for gunfighting to go on, because that first line medical gear that you've got on you is a very limited supply. Typically, you only carry one tourniquet on you. So let's say, for example, in this setting right here, there's less people, and he's not the only one there. And he had a real gun, and he shot some people. And as police are making the approach, they start rendering medical aid to him. They put a tourniquet on him. One officer, has a tourniquet, and he puts it on the guy, and then boom, his buddy pops around the corner around here, sees his friend's been shot, and starts shooting at the police. And the officer who used his tourniquet on the bad guy gets shot in the leg and has a femoral artery hit. What's that officer going to do? They just used their tourniquet on someone else, a bad guy. Are they going to take that tourniquet off that bad guy and then put it on themselves? Not likely. But that is an option. So that's why I say first line medical gear should be reserved for you or your partners and loved ones. So if he had, let's say the scenario was this guy shot at them, one of them got hit in the leg, they take the tourniquet off, put it on the officer's leg, and then boom, buddy comes around shooting, and something else happens. I would feel a lot better knowing that a good guy got to survive because a piece of medical equipment was used, but then another good guy didn't make it because they only had one piece of medical gear. That would be a lot easier to swallow than the bad guy survives and then the good guys die because they used their only tourniquet on the bad guy. I wouldn't like that outcome better. I would prefer at least one good guy live, and versus no good guys live. So on top of your first line medical gear, you should also have supplemental medical gear in your vehicle. And that supplemental medical gear is the stuff that I would recommend that you use on other people. Your first line medical gear could be called a blowout kit, ventilated operator kit, GSW kit, trauma kit, IFAC, whatever terminology you want to assign to it. It needs to be able to address extreme hemorrhaging from an extremity, be able to stop bleeding, and keep an airway open for you. And you can carry that stuff in a very minimal package. You can have there's a product called the VOC, V-O-K, Ventilated Operator Kit, and it's a very small package. Maybe the footprint of a pack of cigarettes, like that general shape, probably a little bit thicker from front to back than a box of cigarettes. Maybe it's like a box of cigarettes and a half or 2 boxes of cigarettes, but looking from the front of a box of cigarettes, it's about that shape, right? It's about that wide, about that tall, but depth wise, it's probably like maybe from front to back, like 2 packs of cigarettes. Not even 2 packs, probably like 2.5. So you can take something like that and keep it in a pocket, and you're going to be able to address extreme hemorrhaging. It's got tourniquet in there. It's got compressed gauze in there. It's got duct tape. It's got nasopharyngeal airway. It's got a pair of gloves in there. It's got a decompression needle in there. The package itself, it's all plastic. You could actually use that as part of an inclusive dressing. So something like that, very minimal, and you can easily keep it in your pocket. You can get a medical ankle holster and stick it in a little pouch in a medical ankle holster. Wear your pants. No one would ever notice it. If you wear a backup gun on an ankle holster, then there's really no reason why you couldn't carry a medical ankle holster on your other ankle. If you've got an outer vest with a bunch of pouches on it, there really is no reason why you shouldn't have medical gear on you. If you're going to have all the fucking tactical Johnny shit on, all the pouches and everything with the big outer vest, then you should definitely be having a pouch dedicated for medical. If not, then you're messed up. Even just a tourniquet, like it's super easy, super simple to just put one tourniquet on your belt. Just one. You can fit it in there, no problem whatsoever. There's really no reason why you can't carry some form of trauma gear on you, other than you're just lazy, or you're just incompetent. I mean, other than that, there's really no reason. You could cite the cost for a reason, but again, that's just an excuse. You can refrain from eating out for like a week or two. Eat you some bologna sandwiches. Save up that money. Buy your life-saving equipment that you need if your company or your agency does not provide it for you. If it's not provided to you, but it's something that you need, then make their sacrifices to get it. You've got people counting on you to return home at the end of shift. And don't have this mindset, it's not going to happen to me, because I'm pretty sure all the other cops out there, all the other security guards out there who were shot in the line of duty, they probably thought the same thing too. This ain't going to happen to me. Well, you know what? It fucking did. Get your life-saving equipment. Your supplemental gear can be all the extra medical stuff that you would want to supplement the gear that's on you that you're using. It can even be a duplicate of what you've got on you, just extra stuff. You can source this stuff. If your agency or your company has first aid kits and they got a bunch of stuff, you can mix and match, then go ahead, do that, mix and match. If, you work in the road and there's an ambulance crew that, you come across quite often and you all got a pretty good working relationship, you can ask them if they can get you some free stuff off the bus. It wouldn't be anything for, on a call, talking to the paramedics, be like, hey, man, I need a bag valve mask for my trauma kit. You guys got an extra one? I'm pretty confident that the majority of the ambulance crews out there are like, yeah, man, here you go. And they'll give you the bag valve mask. And then when they get back to the ambulance station, they'll just go back in the supply room where there's a freaking 100 more of them and replace what they gave out. So you can get this stuff. Even the fire department, fire truck shows up, if you got that good working relationship with the fire department, so long as y'all both haven't pissed each other off too much, trolling each other, you can even ask them for some extra medical stuff. They've got it on hand. A lot of this stuff is expendable. It's kind of, for the most part, kind of, as far as inventory wise, it's kind of, once it goes on the truck, it's just considered an expendable piece of equipment. It's not like something that, they have the inventory and someone's going to come through and count how many 4x4 bandages they have and how many Band-Aids are in this pouch, or how many rolls of medical tape are in this pouch, or how many bag valves masks are in this pouch. Like, they're not going to inventory that stuff. It's kind of expendable items. So you can source this stuff from fire EMS personnel if you got a pretty good working relationship with them. But as far as the critical stuff, like tourniquets and stuff like that, if your people don't provide it to you, one, that sucks, but it's understandable. The stuff's expensive. It's hard for them to buy large quantities of it when they have to, budget for other things like salaries and whatnot. But you, yourself, the individual, you need this life-saving equipment. So stop giving excuses and go get it. that's about it. I think that's all I've got to say. If you like what you hear and see, go ahead and give me a like and a share. If you have not already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for more Monday quarterback videos. Earl Henderson, Primordial Defense, thank you for watching.